evening, everybody out there in TV land, and welcome to Alphabet Soup right here on Bent TV at your very favourite station, Channel 31. Now, before we start today, if I could just get in a bit of a plug for us, if you'd like to be a volunteer for Bent TV, also if you have anything to say to us, please contact us at feedback@benttv.org.au, even if you like us and you'd like a date or anything like that, but keep it very, very clean, if you will. Tonight, we have quite an interesting panel lineup for you because it's taken on a theme of youth suicide and gay youth out there. And so without much further ado, our panel tonight consists of Mr. Vince Golding down the end there, in Paisley, no less.
Paisley, yes.
A silent round of applause. Peter de Groot, who's also a board member at Bent TV. He'll also be asking the hard-hitting questions this evening.
Good evening, Lindsay, and yes, I'm after a date.
And our first guest this evening is Mark Camilleri, who works for Family Planning Victoria, but is the director or convener of a facilitator of a group called YAC, which I believe has been around since 1983. I've heard nothing about them. So please tell us all about YAC, what it stands for, and what basically you do out there for gay youth.
Okay, so YAC is a social support group for same-sex attracted young people. The young people we get are 12 to 25-year-olds. They come from a variety of backgrounds from all over Melbourne metropolitan area. And I work for Family Planning Victoria, which is an adolescent sexual reproductive health service at the Action Centre, which is in Elizabeth Street.
Beautiful.
I was just going to ask, how do you help with the prevention for, say, young people? I mean, you said the youngest is 12. Yeah. From that age group, that sort of tender age, to 25, what sort of things do you do too?
Well, look, the group attracts young people from the ages of 12 to 25. So sometimes we might get 12-year-olds, sometimes we might get 25-year-olds. Obviously, they're going to have very different issues. In the younger age bracket, those 12 to 16, the main issue is around really about coming out. Who can I tell? I think I might be gay. I think I might be a lesbian. How can you tell? How do you know? And what can I do? From the 18 to 22 bracket would probably be more issues about how do you find a partner? How do you integrate into the world? How do you find a community? How do you fit into the gay scene?
And is it a confidential service?
Yeah, it's confidential, it's free, no appointments needed. We also have sexual reproductive health services. We do have a clinic. So for same-sex attracted young people who might be also, maybe the group situation is maybe not the most suitable, so therefore we have the one-on-one counselling. So for a 12, 14-year-old, we're probably saying do some one-on-one first and then maybe go into a group situation.
Right.
We try and tailor it.
So what would you say to parents who have children who are coming out?
Look, parents, we don't have a support service for parents, but there are things like PFLAG that are around. But for parents, look, we know from our data that from the Writing the Sales In report, from the 1998 data, there were of the 750 same-sex attracted young people, none of them were telling their parents that they were gay or lesbian. And for those that did, they had negative experiences. But from our 2010 data, the Writing the Sales In, we have lots and lots of stories of parents being supportive. So when a young person has said, I think I'm gay, I think I'm a lesbian, I think I'm bi or trans, the parents have gone, wow, that must be really hard for you. How can I help you? Tell me the story.
Excellent. Because one of the things is whenever you talk to gay people or we have conversations, one of the first things that comes up is, when did you know or how did you know that you were gay? And it's one of those things where you say, oh, I was always the arty kid or the quiet kid. So in just say in classroom situations, are teachers educated to watch out for kids like that may be having some difficulty with their sexuality? No. Are they educated at all?
Some schools do it well and some schools do it poorly. So we know places like Princess Hill Secondary College has a gay-straight alliance. Yeah. Whereas other schools, maybe a bit more conservative schools or maybe some of the private or independent schools are not doing it as well and maybe don't have anything for same-sex attracted young people. That's why it's important that we do have these social support groups like YAC, where we try and create a safe space that young people can meet and go, gee, I had a shitty week at school this week. I told one of my friends they're gay and they told everyone in my year and now everyone's bullying and teasing me. So, and then they can meet with other young people, maybe some of them have already gone through that, to go, well, this is what I did. I went and told the principal, I went and told the school health nurse, or I told my parents and my parents went and supported me at the school. So we're trying to create that safe environment for young people to be able to talk about the good things and the bad things that they go through the week.
Very, very important to have that support.
Yeah, and just to know I'm not the only one going through it. Like all of us, we all think I'm the only one this has ever happened to. And to find other people like yourself to go, wow, there's a whole community out there.
Instead of waiting till you're 35 and you're at your first school reunion and somebody says, oh, how many children do you have? Oh, no, I'm gay.
Well, after you've been married for 4 years and turn around and go, actually, I think I'm gay now.
I'm gay.
Mark, you've been doing this for a number of years. Do you find more young people are coming out now and at a younger age?
Definitely. I think now there are a lot more role models, and it is a little bit more safer to put your head above the trenches just to identify as gay. But the problem is when you do that, therefore you get more, you become the object of bullying. So the more identified you are, the more chance there is bullying. We know that bullying for same-sex attracted young people has actually increased over the last 10 years.
Has it really?
So it's gone up from around about it's gone up from around about 42% in 2004 to now over 80%. So we're getting this increase of bullying, particularly in the school, which has gone up from 69% in 1998 to, in 2010, 80% of same-sex attracted young people either verbally or physically abused in the school place.
Is that because more people are out now?
Because, they are being more identified.
Right.
But the good thing about that is the more people that identify, the more then they can meet other people like themselves and maybe make a little gang at school to sort of support each other.
Yeah, the gay.
The gay gang. All the gay kids together. You bully us, we're going to mess you up.
I find that thoroughly disturbing, because one would imagine that with the support groups out there, with the acceptance, you talk to heterosexual people about the issue of gay marriage now, and they say, well, why can't gay people get married? Yeah. I just find this insulting. I just find it incredible that those figures have gone up. Is there anything out there? Like, have you done any research into why these figures have increased so?
It's rather depressing.
So much.
Yeah, well, look, probably one of the reasons is there more people identifying as gay at an earlier age, and so therefore can become more targets. But there is a thing now called the Safe Schools Coalition, which is run by the Rainbow Network and Gay and Lesbian Health Victoria, and they're funded by the Health Department to work with schools and Department of Education to work in schools where there are same-sex attracted young people identified.
Beautiful, Mark. We just about have to wrap it up. So very quickly, if anybody out there needs to get in contact with your group, especially parents, young kids who we know watch Bent TV, a website.
Yeah, they can come to the YAC, and they'll find YAC on fpv.org.au and just search engine YAC, and they'll find out about the same-sex attracted support group.
And is there a phone number at all, or is it preferred by website?
There is a phone number.
But it's all right if you don't know it. I don't know BTV's number either. That's fine. Mark, thank you very much for coming along and chatting to us this evening.
Yes.
It's a fantastic group. As you said, it's been around since 1993. Please support them. And, of course, please support Bent TV. We'll be back very shortly after this break.
Hi, I'm Peter DeGroot, and you're back with Bent TV's Alphabet Soup. Today we're asking, is it okay to be gay? And to help us with this question, we've got Francesca Christie, Stephen Palsy, and of course we've got our Lindsay as well with us. So, tell us about your group.
You lead off.
Okay to be Gay was created only 3 months ago. We're relatively new, by a desired passion by me and Francesca about telling the world that it's okay to be gay. Through our own personal experiences, me coming out only when I was 19, a couple of years ago, I suffered major depression, and like a lot of people, I was very disturbed to know that it's not actually an uncommon thing, that people go through a lot of things during that particular time. So we were inspired to create a group in which people can get a loud, clear and bold message that there's nothing wrong with the way you naturally feel, especially during that coming out stages of your life. So we thought, what's the best way to go about this? What's the most effective way to spread a message? We looked around the world of what was happening in other countries, including America, namely, and the way they were trying to portray messages around the world of the best way to people to feel comfortable with who they are. And we came across this concept that was happening in America and across the world to send social media as the most important kind of aspects of sending that message. So we created OK to be Gay with a passion to raise awareness, but also understanding that it's okay to be gay.
Yeah. Now, we just had Mark Camilleri on from YAC with disturbing figures that gay bullying has actually increased. So a group like yours, when you actually started, what was the driving force behind it? Was it the bullying in your case? Was it the suicide?
When I have been involved with horses for all my life, in that time period, I have run school camps, which I can have up to 34 kids staying with me, and quite incredibly, there's a natural attraction from especially gay boys, to be involved with horses.
Is there really?
Yes, huge.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah, in showing of horses, probably 95% of all males are gay.
Yeah.
But so in getting involved with it in early stages, you have a very mixed group. But within that, from far countryside, you have a lot of kids that, to be gay in a real country town, or even the thought of themselves being gay, is terrifying. So I've dealt with that over a lot of periods of times. I've seen a lot of kids, come to me that eventually will open up to the point of the fact that they've tried to commit suicide, they're thinking of committing suicide, and I've ended up with 15-year-old kids living with me for year periods at different times, helping them adjust, helping them go through it. So I've seen a tremendous amount of it, and it's quite tragic what they actually go through. And until you've been open to it, you don't realise the pain and anguish that's there, and the fear that's actually there. And I've always said that the sad part about what happens in society is that we're pushed to lie. Lying causes anxiety, anxiety causes depression, and depression causes suicide. And that's the chain that it works with. And unfortunately, in being gay and the feelings of being gay, that's what they're suppressed to feeling.
How do you break the chain then?
Well, that's the important thing, that we had a look around the world, what people were doing to make people feel that it is okay to be them around the world, what's the best way to relay this message. So we have noticed around the world this whole phenomenon of social media and people getting the message out to everyday people that they can relate and communicate, especially with the internet these days. On our website, for example, we've put up a forum where people can communicate and converse. We've also got lots of videos on our website of people telling their experiences to give support and understanding, because sometimes you don't necessarily want to use the means that are already out there. Like, I know that I was petrified to go and speak to someone about being gay because I didn't know what to say or how I'd be judged. But with OK to be Gay, for example, there's videos on there of people telling their story of how they've lived and loved themselves for being gay, and people that are even straight, who have gay, maybe a son, a daughter, a brother, whatever, and how they've lived for everyone and understanding that they're gay. So we believe that having this message out there, you can actually watch other people's stories, listen to other people's stories, and get strength from that. And that's what we think will break the chain, because there is because what we've seen at the moment is, there's 6 times more likely if you're gay to try and end your own life, which is horrific. So obviously the message is not being relayed properly, and we think this new method will help break that chain.
Will assist. And one question too, Stephen, is, from your own experiences with this, on your website, testimonials, information that comes through, there would be a common theme in these stories, or do you find that it varies? So I guess is there great variance, or is it pretty much the same throughout?
There's huge variance, and that's kind of the thing that I find amazing. I'm reading stories constantly and getting video stories of complete different contrasts of life. They can be from the most extreme isolated areas saying, I don't know what to do, from people that have actually experienced and come out to the city and who still don't feel like they know what to do or how to come out. So there's extreme variances in what people are experiencing, and that's what people should know, that their experience alone isn't isolated, that people have been through that and they are not alone, and that is what OK to be Gay is about. You should know that you're okay no matter how you are, and there's no need to feel like there's something wrong with you, because I know I went through that for a lot of years in my life, and this is quite amazing that this whole experience is me turning what I seemed in my own life a negative, which I was wrong, and I've turned it into a positive, because I've started to act positively about being gay and doing something positive to give back, hopefully, and rather than having negative thoughts and feelings.
Now, Francesca, do you have a website that our viewers can look up?
Yes, we do. We have oktobegay.com.au.
Well, I'd like to say thank you for being with us today on Alphabet Soup. So thank you, Francesca, and thank you as well.
Lovely to
be here.
Thank you for having
to be gay, I guess.
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
Actually, it's fabulous to be gay. Believe it.
Anyway, we'll be back shortly after these few messages. Thanks.
Welcome back to Alphabet Soup on Bent TV. Now, you've been watching our stories about bullying, violence, and anybody out there that's watching tonight, we will give you information about where to turn. But we'd like to end the show on the positive notes, how people have come to OK to be gay, and they've not so much been set straight, but straight to another group perhaps that could possibly help them along their way. Now, Stephen, you two have had some incredible stories and a few success stories along the way. What's been the best one so far, or the one that stood out to you?
Yeah, well, we've only been around for 4 months so far, and to have this story is quite extraordinary, beyond just our biggest expectations. There was a young gentleman who actually met us at Mardi Gras in Sydney. He was 19 years of age. He said that it was the first time he'd been to a gay event or anything, and he was immediately drawn to us.
And he went to Mardi Gras, his first gay event. God, that's brave in itself.
But he was kind of more of a...
Festival.
Fair Day,
Fair Day.
Sorry, not the Fair Day, where we were. And he went to a website after seeing us, and he said he then emailed us and said he got so much support from the videos that we've got on our website and the stories that are on there and the forum, that he actually got enough courage to accept him for who he was, and he came out to his parents. Now, he had been fighting for that since he was the age of 15, apparently, and he came out to his parents and had the support and acceptance for himself, and he said he's never been happier because of the fact that he no longer has to hide who he is.
And his parents were cool with it?
Look, they're getting through it. They're not like, it's not a rosy story where everything goes great, but he now accepts himself and he is getting through it, and he says he's using OK to be gay as a great support. He watches the videos, he reads the stories, and now he's been out for a couple of weeks now and he's getting through it, and he says he's never been happier about coming out and having that off his chest.
He's in constant contact with us. It's quite fantastic, and is going to be a great person for people to go, and he will be. He's a very smart boy. He's now studying psychology, and but still, like, even though through all his studies, we're still suffering all the problems that everybody else does too. And just having a support team of all of us around him, and we've met him on several occasions now, and it's been quite great.
Yeah. And you find, no doubt, Greg, you probably find that people that go through your group, although not yet, but yours, Greg, do they become mentors for other people?
Oh, I think everyone in fact, we've got a range of people that volunteered with the AVP. It's only a small organisation, 3 board and about 11 volunteers, but a range of our volunteers have actually experienced violence, have stepped up, made a report where years before they wouldn't have talked about what happened to them, and now they're actually having a hand in changing society around them and making it better for people around them. That's just fantastic, that partnership and taking it to the next level. But the biggest success, I think, is the macro level. It's that connecting communities. It's the getting governments to actually not just have it as a tack-on when we eventually go and thump on their door and ask for money, but to start to build it into the policy that drives the society in the next 30 years.
Absolutely.
That's the big success, when we start, I think, to shift the equation so we're not a tack-on. And the final thing I think that's a real success is the visibility for the trans community and the visibility for the intersex community around their victimisation under the homophobic umbrella. People will often see a trans person and the homophobes will say they're a man in a dress, and they'll be bullied, bashed. The level of violence will be far greater than we experience as gay men and lesbians. But now there's less invisibility for those communities, and we're embracing them in much more meaningful ways. So that conversation has really progressed for trans and intersex. I think that's a huge success for many people.
And it's something that our community can be very, very proud of, for embracing people that sort of sit outside the square. But if I may too at this point say that Bent TV's role in this is also very, very important, because no doubt as we're going to air tonight, there are kids sitting around with mum and dad who may be questioning their own sexuality. This may or may not be a good time to actually bring it up, and please don't ever do it at Christmas or Grandma's birthday. That's, unless you have a movie camera there and you turn it into something special. But I've been approached by people out there who said that they've seen us on Bent TV and it's inspired them to come out, because if we can sit in front of cameras and do it, then why can't they do it amongst their friends?
It's the linkages too. We'll put It's OK to be Gay, their link to your website, on the Anti-Violence Project website, which is antiviolence.info. And we'll link it to stophomophobiatoday.com, which is the annual Idaho website for International Day Against Homophobia across the state. So we're happy to do that. What's your URL?
Our website is okaytobegay.com.au, and also we're on Facebook at facebook.com/okaybegay. So that's kind of where all our things. And on our website we've got a forum where people can communicate. As I said, those videos. There's written stories. Some people don't want to go on camera. It's understandable and tell their story. But there's a whole array of resources there, and we're happy.
That's a huge success. When you capture the narrative and the stories and the growth that people are having, others will listen and hear and actually feel that success. And I think that's a huge narrative you guys are developing through your site.
The videos on there, there's a whole array of them from different ways. Some people have had actually physical violence against them and how they overcame that. One lady there is a straight mother who's had a gay brother, how they dealt with it in the family. There's a whole array of things. So it's great support, and it really does. You do get captivated in the videos. Like, I'm watching them when they come through, and they are really powerful.
Now, I've got a question for all of us here and for the people out there. What's the vision of where we're going to be in 5 years, 10 years' time around this discussion? Where are we? What does it look like? How do we shape it? And where do we head? What do you reckon?
Well, I'm hoping through what we're doing now that it's not going to be an issue that we're going to have to worry about. I'm hoping that things have got on a real high where everything was very positive in the gay world to it's gone to a decline, which has made me get really involved in this. And I'm hoping with putting the message out there that everyone says, well, it is okay to be gay, so let's stop worrying about giving people a hard time about that, and they can move on to something else. I hope everyone's lives just becomes, happy people, and I can see a positive already in what's just happening in our Facebook page. So that's on our forum.
Fabulous. Now, one more time, if we could have the ways that people can get in contact with your group.
okaytobegay.com.au and facebook.com/okaytobegay.
And Greg?
Antiviolence.info, stophomophobia.today.com, and we're also on Facebook under Vic AVP.
Great.
Fantastic. Now, also, we might as well have a little plug for Ben TV while we're here. Keep in mind, it is okay to be gay, and it is okay to volunteer for Ben TV. We are, we're nice with you. So if you would like to volunteer for Ben TV, please contact us at feedback.org.au. feedback@bentv.org.au. And we'll also be providing links to both these organisations on our website. So if you don't quite remember, please go to our website and we can pass you on directly. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Greg Atkins from the Anti-Violence Project, Stephen Palsy from OK to be Gay, and Francesca Christie. I'll get it right eventually. Thank you all very much for joining us this evening. Thank you very much for watching Ben TV, and keep in mind, it is okay to be gay.